Hello, and welcome to Mike Drops the Mic. I'm Mike Lyman. Today, I'm excited to be joined by my co-host, Anthony DeTullio. Anthony, how you doing today?
Great, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Of course. We're also very excited to be joined by James C. Burns. James is a former hockey player and a hockey coach who decided to make a transition in his career toward acting, which led him to many gigs. And he also became a voice actor to the very iconic Call of Duty character of Master Sergeant Frank Woods. James, how you doing today?
I'm good, but I want to know why Anthony is it DeTullio? Why is your curtain down and back there? Is that a studio choice? Is that something you did for me, or is that something you just do for in life?
Now we had these blinds up, and the hooks at the top were fallen, so it's actually just a blanket that's just like, kind of
Love
drooping.
it. I love it, man.
Good natural light in when it's the daytime, but
I think it's great. I'm just asking. Just I'm curious. I thought maybe this is going to turn something special.
No, he doesn't have anything hiding back there going to jump out or anything. It's just like that. So, James, we talked about, you used to play a little bit of hockey and then you eventually made the transition to hockey coaching. How did you first become involved with hockey?
Oh gosh, actually, my father was a pretty good amateur player, but he didn't take it anywhere. And then, I saw a picture of him in a hockey uniform, and I was like 5. And then my mother brought me down to a local boys club, and we didn't have much money. So fortunately, back in the day, the boys club provided everything you needed to play. And this is back in the 60s. So that was it. And then I just started playing, and it became something I really spent a lot of time doing, I mean, you remember back in the day, we didn't have, the TV was on limited amount of, like, TV stopped at 11 o'clock at night and started at 7 in the morning. You didn't have 24-hour TV. So we really had to be outdoors doing things. Sports was what we had, so that's kind of how it happened.
Sure. And then eventually you decided to make the transition from hockey to acting, from my understanding, from an opportunity that came up where you could appear in a Wheaties commercial. Is that correct?
No.
No. Okay.
No, it's kind of a long drawn out process. I played some minor league professional hockey, and I went to Europe and I played on a team called Hockey Club Herentals. We did really well. I was frustrated because I wanted to play here in the NHL, but I wasn't good enough. So I was just frustrated. So I spent a lot of time trying out and going back and forth. And then in between, like one summer, the Wheaties gig happened, and then another gig happened, and a couple commercials did. But then I went back to hockey almost that fall. I went down and played for Virginia at the Lancers, and broke my arm in half, and that was it. My career's over. So it was that, but hockey's what I knew how to do. So I kind of became a coach, and then I took over a hockey program in New York. Then I had a residential center and had a hockey school in Quebec. And then I was a private coach for many years, and I coached here in LA. So what happened was I just kept doing what would make me money, basically. And at some point, I was doing summer camps, and at some point I decided I really don't like kids. I just don't. I hate them. And you can't make a living if you hate the kids who are making a living from. And then I had a good experience trying to be an actor, and I had opportunities come up, but I wasn't dedicated to the craft of being an actor. I could act like a knucklehead and get paid for it. So I did, but to be an actor, you actually have to have a skill. It's a craft. You got to know you have to know what you're doing to do it well and to get paid for it. So I just made a decision that I liked it. It was interesting. It seemed like an easy way, like an easy job. It seemed like it was easy. I was wrong, but that was the whole point. Let me try that. And I just made a 5-year plan, and it kind of worked out for me. Had a lot of, let's see, it took a lot of commitment. it's easy to get thrown off. It's easy. And I was lucky that I had invested in a restaurant in New York City at the time. And that basically financed my transition out of being a hockey coach into it took me probably 6 years before I could actually depend on acting to make an income to pay for my living expenses. So if I hadn't had the investment in the restaurant, I probably wouldn't have gotten as far as I did, because I needed that time to transition to, because you can't build a treehouse on a sapling. You got to let that thing grow so it'll support you. And if you put too much pressure on your craft too soon, you're going to make decisions that are bad decisions, and you're going to do things that don't allow you to really master what you need to master. So I was fortunate that I made some good choices that allowed me to, transition slowly into this business.
Sure. And you talking about trying to perfect your craft and improve your ability as an actor. I mean, acting is known as being an incredibly competitive field of occupation, and it takes so much discipline and a lot of determination and a positive mindset. How do you think your hockey playing and hockey coaching helped you establish that mentality of staying on track, determined, and
Good question. Really good question. Actually, more of as a player, I had issues. I had a lot of talent, some skill, but I was not confident. I wasn't as dedicated as I now know I could have been. Same thing in school. I could get good grades without studying. So I didn't study. I could get B's and I barely cracked the book, right? So stuff like that, it sets you back a little bit because you're not working hard enough. You're not really investing full time into the world you want to join. So as a coach, I learned, I became a coach because I needed to kind of repair some things I had missed. And as a coach, I could kind of do that. And then I really learned about what it takes to find success. So it's a direct correlation. Everything I know about this business, I take from athletics, everything. And it's so transmutable. It's instantly applicable. The idea of, paying attention to your attention. As an athlete, if you're not focused on specific things, you're not going to be successful. How to watch for your landmines. Where are you strong? Where are you weak? I knew that for me, I had to actually make mistakes to learn. And I equivocated it to playing pickup hockey. You go out there, you work on. You don't try a new move in a game. You go out in the rink after practice, or you go out to a pond and you mess around with it for a long time. Then it becomes comfortable. Then you try it. And so I knew that taking chances in an environment with low consequence was important to me. So I knew that, and I experimented with some classes. They didn't work, but I knew that if I get in there and I saw my footage, and I go, I need to fix that. Mm-hmm. So that became a mission. Each time I saw somebody I wanted to fix, that's why I would take my next job. And a lot of the jobs I have thousands of jobs that no one will ever know about because I hide them. Student films. The idea is say yes. So I said yes to. If there's somebody in the corner with an iPhone, I would act for them. I didn't care. I would just do it constantly because I had to get in there and feel it and try it, and had to accelerate because I started when I was in my 40s and I was competing against guys who were already winning Oscars and things. So I had to really accelerate my exposure to the environment, and I studied a lot. I watched, movies constantly. I watched the actors I wanted to become. I took extra work just so I could be around Tom Hanks and be around, big actors, see how they do it. And it's great to watch somebody who you think is a master and watch them make the same mistakes you make or have them struggle the same way you struggle. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't mean I suck. It just means everyone has to struggle. It's a struggle. You got to figure it out, So those are the kind of things I took over from being a coach and being a player, that you got to know the way you learn, and then you got to go in there and just spend time doing it. 5-6 hours a day, just doing it. And there's nothing too small not to focus on to push your career forward.
Sure. And I think that's awesome that you decided to surround yourself in that environment of being an extra and taking on any role, no matter what, just giving yourself that opportunity because you're going to learn from so many people and just getting your name out, networking, getting an inside look of how things work. I mean, that's fantastic.
Well, the thing is, I really worked at not getting my name out when I started because I don't want to be seen as, because first impressions last forever. You know,
Right.
I knew this from being a coach. You have some kids show up and he just stinks the ice up. He's got to do something really, because your first impression is how people. So when I'm new at something, I literally have 4 different IMDb's because I wanted to hide a lot. And there's some guys who I did movies for who got pissed at me because I wouldn't put them on my actual IMDb. I go, man, I can't. I suck in your movie. You know, I don't want to be seen. I don't ever want to be seen. And every now and then somebody will pull out one of these ancient clunkers, and I just, oh my God, you know, they really, you know, remind me of that now. But there's a lot of stuff that no one will ever see because that's my those are my mistakes. I don't want to show him my mistakes. I want you to see the best, and that's what it is. Like I said before, there's a great Zen story, koan, about a guy who does calligraphy, you know, artist, and so this prince hires him to do a special, you know, design for him for something, and so the master goes, "Okay, come back in 6 months." So 6 months passes. The prince comes back and he says to them, "Oh, I'm ready to pick up my artwork." So the master goes, sits down, takes a piece of paper out, and draws this beautiful artwork for him, hands it to him, and the prince goes, "What the? If you can do that, why did you just do it 6 months ago?" Master goes over to the cabinet, opens it up, and out falls thousands of papers of practice, you know. So we only see, especially in this business, we only see the end product. We don't see all the things going through. Most great performances happen in the edit room. Most do, because you have it without the edit. A lot of time I do these tricks myself. That's how I got my first job. I took unrelated content, cut it, edit it, made it look like I was actually in the game, and then I got a job from that. But it was all smoke and mirrors. So it's like editing is a really important thing to know, and it also creates a lot of performances that never would happen otherwise. And that's true with musicians too. I was listening to a guitar player from Pink Floyd, and he's talking about, you know, that great solo from "Comfortably Numb." And he said, yeah, well, that was 5 separate takes, 5 separate solos, and he took the best of each take, and then he had to learn how to play it. So that's, and oh, God, of course that's how it's done. It becomes something. It's like there's so much more to things than what we see. We see the polished, perfected version of everything, but all the time and effort and testing and suffering that goes into it will never be seen. So
Sure.
that's part of the understanding of when you do anything, and that's either you want to be a lawyer, a doctor, an actor, or anything. It's like when you see the best, they're struggling, but you just don't see it because it's, you know, it's somewhere else. They've already done the work, you know.
Sure. All that work behind the scenes, and that gives you the end product. And eventually, you were cast to voice act as Master Sergeant Frank Woods in the Call of Duty franchise, which is so iconic. And I
Yeah.
was curious, what was the audition process like for you, and how did you find out that you had gotten the role of Frank Woods?
Well, again, like most things in my life, I really come through the back door and things. I have a video on my YouTube channel that says how I became Sergeant Frank Woods. It's an actual video that has the original audition and the subsequent callback. But the short of the story is this. First of all, I almost didn't take the job. I got called in to audition for Untitled Project, video game project. It's called Untitled Video Game Project. And they were testing the technology for performance capture. So they wanted somebody with some weapons training who was athletic, and I kind of fit the bill. I had done roles like this before. So it was really like a stunt job I went in for. And September 7th was the audition, 2009. And I went in, and it was a shit show. I mean, like, they had no idea. Like, the audition was it was an improv thing, and it made no sense. And I had done so many low budget, no budget projects with inexperienced directors, and this guy had no idea how to run an audition, and it just all the red flags. Oh, I can't do this anymore. I've already had my career's already. I've done 2 years on General Hospital, and I started to, I'd done some primetime TV, so I already knew what it looked like when it was done right. So walking an audition where it's just a shit show, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. And so they call me back. They offer me this job, and it's just to test it, to do motion capture test on it. And I was going to take it. I had another thing. I talked to my buddy, who's my manager. I said, there's other job. It's for a video game. He goes, what's the game? I don't know. Beauty, cutie, duty, cutie. He goes, Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty. He goes, they want you to work on a Call of Duty project. I go, yeah. He goes, what is it? He goes, are you fucking stupid? That's the biggest video game in the world. And I'm like, yeah, but they have no idea what they're doing. And because it wasn't really the game yet. So basically I took his advice, I took it, and I had a blast. I was working with Adam Rosas, and we were testing the technology. We got along great. They invited me back to test the first level of the game for the character. Sergeant Frank Barnes was named the character. So I did that. We worked well together, had a lot of fun. And I was booking other jobs. I did the episode Cold Case. I was working a lot at that time. And again, I show up with these guys 3-4 days a week. We go through it, become really tight. And these guys are my buds now. This is like 3 months of working with the same guys, and you just really get close. And all of a sudden, December 18th, they vanish. And I don't hear from them for almost 3 months. And I'm kind of like, I'm a little bummed. Like, I thought I was going to shot at this, whatever this was. And then I see in the breakdowns, they're casting for a new part for a video game. I know exactly what's going on here. It says Sergeant Frank Woods. And in the description of the character, it's like me. It's like it's me. They're describing me to the T. And I go, holy shit! They're casting. They're doing this, but they're not having me do it. They just wanted the stars. So long story short, they end up having to bring me in because a guy named Dave Anthony liked me, and they finally got me in. And I was kind of pissed about it that they didn't call me back. And I walk up there, and all the guys were my buddies. They wouldn't talk to me. I mean, at Treyarch, and they wouldn't even look at me. I go, these fucking guys, So I go in, and now I'm pissed. And that guy, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna go off. And I did what I always did. It's just I go off script. I don't care. I'm just doing what feels right and let it rip, And then I leave, and still no one's talking to me. And so I get a call a day later, and I figure this job is over. Right? I don't know why I'm even in the house. And a couple of days later, I get a call to come down for lunch with the guys at Treyarch, and then they say, "Yeah, you're gonna be Woods." And I talk to everybody. I go, "What? Why are you guys treating me?" Because we couldn't, because we didn't want them. We wanted you, but we couldn't let all these big shots know we wanted you because they wanted a star in there, but we wanted you, so we had to act like we didn't like you. So they would like. So I go, "You fucking crazy bag," and that's how it started. And it just kind of rolled from there. They're some of my closest friends in my life right now. I've known these guys for 11 years. And we worked on how many games together? 4 games together.
Yeah.
So that was how that went down. It's like it was really a bunch of happy accidents. Because I didn't. It wasn't like I went and auditioned for the part. I just kind of evolved. The character became built on me. It became. Everything about me became the character. So when it comes time to do it, they brought some other guy in to play it. And then, well, okay, see how the guy in the demo's doing it? See how the guy in the demo's moving? And they thought, well, why don't we just fucking hire the guy from the demo, which is me? So it became such an organic thing that I kind of built the character for myself,
Sure.
which is a rare opportunity. It's just I'm so grateful that given that the freedom to do that, the luxury of building something from the ground up, it rarely happens.
And I mean, you're talking about building that character from the ground up. you have to add so much depth to that character of Frank Woods. And I was curious what the filming process was like in terms of you doing your voiceover. You mentioned using the live performance capture technology, writing dialogue. What was it daily, what was it like in a day in your life at that point when you're trying to build the character?
Well, it's very similar to being on a TV series because you really don't know the whole story. You got to beg for information because sometimes the writers don't know what's going on. So you've the hard part was I'd get a script like the night before. Some days it'd be 1 page, others it'd be 15 pages. You just don't know, and you had to study very quickly and get it moving very quickly. Fortunately for me, most of the stuff originated. We started off doing the performance capture, live action. So I got to perform with actors, which makes life easier. Voice acting is a very specific skill, and I'm still learning how to do it. I don't call myself a voice actor because I've been with Troy Baker and Nolan North. These guys are fucking just unbelievably talented, and I was that at the time I was more of a one-trick pony. Pretty big trick, but that's what I did. And you hang around Nolan. These guys are so talented and so flexible. So, but I was fortunate that most of my stuff was done live action, and it really just a matter of I have a couple rules about how I do things. Be nice, don't steal anything. These are my 2 rules of life for success, and there's a lot of permutations and nuance to that. So, I like being over prepared. I like having put way too much time in. If I have one line, I'll study 10,000 ways to say that one line. I want to be over prepared. So because I had done a small job on a pilot, and I watched this actor who was struggling to get this one line out. And it was, I guess I know why it's hard. Sometimes you just get trapped in this, or in the pressures there, or you just lose, or you sit there and you're on set for 5 hours and you practice your line over and over. When the time comes to do it, you're burnt out. You've lost your sort of your originality, your spontaneity. And I watched this guy and every one of us saying, God, just say the fucking line, dude. I don't think the Chinese have stealth capabilities. That's the line. I don't think the Chinese have stealth capabilities. He couldn't say that line. It was infuriating. And the director pulled him over. And when you're like a co-star or a small guest star, you're not allowed to fuck up. It's not about you. It's about the stars. You can't take 19, 20 takes, but you need the line. So that guy came back next day. He was gone. They fired him. He's gone next day. So I was really aware that, okay, if I come in here, I better have my shit together. I better know everything about the character, about the story. And so I just over-prepared. I overstudied. I read everything I could about. I became I watched every movie on the Vietnam War. I had known a Green Beret when I was growing up. My next neighbor was Green Beret. I read John J. Plaster's book on Sarge. I just read constantly. So I had all this information that I was working off. Plus, I played this role a lot. Anyways, it was I just show up and apply all this stuff. And then something kicked in one day, and I just said, no, there's stuff I'm not going to say, because I was a coach. And one of my things that was really important about Woods is that Woods will never shame you. Mm. If you think of Woods, every time it's like, hey, you fucking got this. You can do it. It's always about pushing guys. It's how I was as a coach. You can fucking do it. I want this from you. I know you got it. Do not quit. He never calls somebody an asshole or a loser, there's no snideness. He's always like, hey, I got your back. Get it done. You can do this.
Yeah.
And whenever I came across a line that seemed a little bit, shamey or kind of like little, I don't know how to explain it with being graceful, little douchey. Like I'm not saying that. He's not a snarky guy. He's a smart ass. But and he's direct, but he's never going to try to intimidate somebody he needs to, one of his soldiers. He doesn't do that. He doesn't try to, and there's no shame in Woods. He just has no fucking shame. He doesn't care. You can't shame me. Fuck it. I'll just do what I got to do. So I really, as that happened, as lines came in, sometimes I refuse to say certain things. And problem is they usually worked out. Those conflicts usually worked out in the room. So I was very fortunate to be given the freedom to just really make the character my own. I just, here's what I want to do. Oh, here's what we can do. And they gave me that freedom to do that, which is a luxury. It's a rare occurrence you get that. So I have such gratitude for them letting me do that,
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony, I know you have a couple questions you want to ask. So Anthony, you want to take it away here?
Oh yeah.
Anthony, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Anthony? Huh?
So let's talk about Sarge's Corner. It's a YouTube channel and running live stream series you have, almost 2 years. And what made you start streaming and posting to YouTube? And if you could tell us some of the content you've created since its birth.
Well, the channel's been around since 2011. It's been around. It used to be just Sergeant Frank Wood's YouTube channel, then had different permutations. And I have a lot of behind the scenes footage that I was given, and I cut together a lot of split screens so you see what happens in the game and what it looks like on set. So you see the live action versus the play. Yeah. And I probably posted 60 or 70 of those kind of videos over the years. And I'm not a YouTuber. I usually, it's like, if it was fun to cut it, I'd cut it, it'd be fun. But that's not how I want to spend my time. So when COVID hit, I found myself with a whole bunch of footage and a whole bunch of time. So I started editing things, and I was posting a few videos here and there. And then somehow I saw somebody doing a live thing on YouTube. So what is this live stream? As a curiosity, I saw on YouTube, live stream. What is that? So I clicked on it, and then I played with it it was just because I had nothing else to do. I just got curious. And I'm like a cat. I get very curious, and I kind of follow things down the rabbit hole. And then I just thought, I might try, see if I can do this. And then I was playing with it and getting more interested. Things were getting more interesting. And then there's a lot of, in my Twitter feed and in the social media world, I was getting a lot of, questions about, am I coming back? Is what's happening? And in the past, I've done some stupid things, making jokes that became really big issues with Treyarch. You can't say that, and I was just being snarky. I had no idea the impact some of the things I was saying had. So I was getting all these questions from fans about what's going on, the franchise, and Activision was really reminding me that you can't say certain things. You're under NDA. So, and I got a little frustrated with having to explain this thing over. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a live screen, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I know. And I think like 20,000 people showed because they thought I was going to do some big reveal. I said, here's 3 things. I have not been in negotiations. I have not talked to them. I have no idea what's going on next. So I did that one show, and that was fun. And then I kept showing up because, again, it's COVID. I had nothing else to do. Had a good following. And then my buddy Darwin, who's my manager, he shows up, and we start having a lot of fun doing this. But what happened was I started feeling like a dancing monkey, and I don't go online to I'm not a gamer. I don't play, so it's hard for me to, like, Jeff Leach is great. Leach is one of my best friends, and he plays, and he has the vernacular, and I wasn't playing games. I'd have to play it, cut it, do it, and it was just too hard for me to do, and I wasn't interested in doing that. And it morphed itself into a sort of just a conversation with friends. Like, I have guests come on, and we talk about things. We end up talking about our careers, about our lives, and then we start talking to the community, and the community was great. The people who show up were really, we no trolls. Everybody was connected. Everybody was enjoying each other's company, and now it's become like a family meeting once or twice a week. You get together, and there's what I'm proud of is there are people from all over the world who are now become friends. We have people in Bosnia and China and Australia and all over, and England and Ireland, and they have relationships. They talk to each other. People have crisis and they share it. And during COVID, it was a source of community, and it stuck. Now we don't have the numbers we had before, and I'm okay with that because the crew we have now is really special. If we have a couple thousand people show up, before we'd be 15, 20,000 for a show. But right now it's more like, show up. I enjoy the conversations. I enjoy the connection. I like watching people become friends and expanding their lives. We got some people from Germany making a trip over here next summer to tour, to meet their friends. I love that shit. So it's become a real social gathering. And the coach in me is reticent to go away. And someone started asking me life questions, and I like to talk, as you can tell. And simple things, like I do a lot of personal work because we struggle, and it's a lifetime effort. So I know some shit. I'm older, and like relationships. So I just started talking about relationships, and and it just kind of stuck around. So now we have kind of real conversations about about school, about how do you become successful? Like what is, if you're having a struggle with working out, what are the things you want to talk about? And we talk about a lot of real things. A lot of times we have one of my favorite things. We do a really stupid segment of really bad dad jokes. We have and we recruit the worst possible jokes, and they're funny as hell. And we have 3 or 4 people who just show up with just killer dad jokes kind of thing. So that's it.
I love all that, and I love watching streams and videos and stuff. So I mean, in the future, I'll definitely be tuning in.
Okay, great. I mean, I'd love to have you. Hang on a second, Mike. Siri is going nuts on my main computer. Hang on a second.
You're good.
I gotta slow her down. She's like, he had to actually stop. Stop, Terry, go away. There we go. Okay, now we're good. So yeah, that's the channel. I don't know where it's going. I don't know what's going to come into. I show up when I show up. If I get a part in a TV series, it's probably going to be really tough to do. But right now, it's again Christmas. We had a 24-hour Christmas show. Kind of left the feed open. If you want to talk, if someone's on it, show up. Chat.
Sure.
That's what we do. Yeah.
So we have a few minutes left. I think Anthony has one more question, and then we're going to do the last little segment, if that's okay.
Well, I chewed up some time, didn't I?
Oh, you're good. You're good. It was enjoyable to listen to.
Oh yeah. So Activision and Treyarch have made some of my favorite games. They got like Spyro and of course Call of Duty.
Yeah.
What's it like working with this huge video game producer, and over the years from Black Ops 1 to Black Ops 4, seeing their technology advance? What were some difficult situations you've been put in, and how did you adapt to like your character as things evolved over there?
Again, it's been I don't use the word blessing because it's conjures other create, but it's been very fortunate. I've been surrounded by a very cooperative, creative team. Woods is a result of many people doing many things. Yes, I voice when I bring them to life, but it's animators and writers and things like that. And the level of collaboration I've been allowed is spectacular. I become very close with the head of the studio. I mean, these are friends. It wasn't long after Black Ops 1 was done that Dave Anthony and I, who was the head of Treyarch, we sat down and we started talking about Black Ops 2. And then we have always been To me, it's one long experience. Only thing that when we stepped back was Black Ops 3. I wasn't part of that. And then Black Ops 4 happened, and Dave brought me back in. And the hardest day ever, and I tell this story a lot because it's my favorite story, was the very last day of recording for Black Ops 4. And Dave Anthony, who's the director, he and I sat, Formosa Studios has a little courtyard in the back. So you take your refreshment, you go out there. It's like, a little overhang, a little umbrella tree, and you have this table and some chairs. And we had just finished the last day of Black Ops 4, and we sat there and we're like, man, we don't want to leave, because if we leave, it means this is over. It's done. And we may never, ever do this again. And it was this feeling, wow, like the minute we get in the car, life happens. We are out of the zone. This is, and I just remember that feeling. You never wanted it to end. And that was almost every single day you go to work, like, man, I don't want this to end. I want more. I want more. I want more. And so I can't ever say there was a struggle. I mean, I think people may have struggled with me because I was given so much freedom that I would just kind of have a lot of free reign to just change lines. And I ended up writing almost all of my own dialogue from Black Ops, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 4. I did almost all the dialogue, or I had a hand in modifying a lot of the dialogue and some of the narrative. I got to participate in a really extraordinary level, which I really have. And so for me, I don't remember a tough day, man. I don't ever remember. The toughest day was when I knew it's just kind of over, because Dave's going, he's gone. Everybody I know is probably going to be gone. So it was like the last day of shooting. Man, I may never. And it proved to be prophetic, because that was my last day with the franchise, and everyone's gone. I mean, the guys who I came up with, a lot of them were some were PAs when they started. And by the time they got done, they were director of a whole division. So I had seen the growth of many people and my growth, and so they're all gone now. They all moved on to other jobs. I think Craig Houston's the only one. He's over in, I think he's doing zombies now. But there aren't many. There's nobody left that I knew. They're all different. And Activision I never connected to Activision. I was always in the Treyarch house. Activision, I don't know how they see me. I have no idea. I know there's the PR department. I've been in contact with them like once in the last 3 years. So I don't really have a relationship with them anymore either. So, and I'm still in contact with a lot of the guys from the original Treyarch group. Dave Anthony is one of my best friends, and anytime we get together with the crew, Adam Rosas and some other guys, it's like you're family, man. Like you're just family. It's just, you kind of had a kid together, so it's there for life,
Sure. All right, James. So the last thing we do with these interviews are what we call 7 quick questions. They're just 7 short answer questions.
Yeah.
Could be things that we talked about, could be things we didn't talk about, just to get to know you a little bit better. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. Question 1. What is your favorite movie?
Oh, man, depends on the week. I don't know. Chinatown, depends.
Okay.
Sure, Chinatown. Godfather.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, classic.
Godfather.
If not hockey, what other sport would you have wanted to play?
Okay, if it was around when I was younger, that thing where you jump off the mountain in a squirrel suit and you fly.
Oh, it's like base jumping?
No, you have there's a squirrel suit with the wings in it, and guys are running off mountains and flying like squirrels. And yeah, so not base jumping, but it'd be like whatever that is. And these guys, it's like it's actually flying. If I had grown up with that, I would be doing that on a daily basis.
That'd be cool. So who is your favorite hockey player?
Bobby Orr.
All right.
I've said Bobby Orr.
Perfect.
I'm sure you're aware of this. what do you think of the onion line that Woods had in Black Ops Cold War?
Well, okay, I have two things then. Number one is, for me, because I have all this backstory, all this information, all this connective tissue to Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and I had some writing experiences. So to me, and that scene was very much like the approach scene to Cosmodrome in Black Ops 1. So I thought it was a kind of a waste of an opportunity to throw back an homage to Weaver there. Hey, staying stealthy. Remember what happened to Weaver? It could have made it more interesting. It's trying to, get a cheap joke from Shrek. And I don't know if Shrek belongs in the Call of Duty universe. So, and I don't want to disparage the actor who had to say the line, but it's like that's one of the things I have that the only thing that's kind of painful about not being in the new Black Ops is like I see all these opportunities they miss. Like, oh my God, there's so many places you could expand, have callbacks, and you could solve a question from Black Ops 2 in one place, or you can kind of expand and bring in Black Ops 1 and really connect the universes. And that was a great opportunity that I thought was lost. So that's how I say they had an opportunity to really do something special there. And they went for like an easy laugh, and I think we kind of obliterated it when it came out on the show. We had a lot of fun with the onion line.
Oh, I saw that.
So, I've heard that you don't play the Call of Duty games very much, but
Yeah.
if you were, which Call of Duty game would be your favorite to play?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm not good enough to play. I would say just Black Ops 1 because it's kind of it's where it started. But quite frankly, yeah, I've yet to really figure out Warzone. That to me is fun. That seems like it's a bigger universe. And I'm not, again, I don't do enough gaming to even give you an intelligent answer on that. So Black Ops 1, because that was, my genesis.
Sure.
If you have one, what is your favorite line or scene with Woods?
Favorite scene.
Or
Again,
a couple of them even.
that depends on the day, man. I have to go back because there's so many great stories I got. Like working with Rich McDonald was always great. With Kamar, man, great days on set. I mean, there's so many great days on set. The scene we did with Avenged Sevenfold, that was so much fun. But I'll go back to the very first day on set when it was, because there's some controversy I can't go into, but there's a lot of heavy controversy. And that's when the switch clicked and I decided, fuck it. I know I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it the way I'm going to do what I know. I'm not going to worry about what's right. I'm going to do what I know feels right. And that was the very first day of shooting. So that was the "You Can't Kill Me" scene.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that was a scene.
My last question for you. Again, you talked about Black Ops 1 being so special because that was the original one, but I'm sure going back and looking at your performance and your portrayal of Woods is just amazing, seeing all the hard work come together and seeing the final product. Which performance of yourself individually of Woods are you most proud of in terms of games? Are you most satisfied with how Black Ops 1 portrayal of Woods came out, Black Ops 2, or what do you think?
There is in Black Ops 4, there is where, what's her name? The girl there, she introduces Woods. And I remember we sat down when we were writing that. We had to figure out how to do two things. To remind the people who know the game, because again, it was 3 games separated from me last time I was there, Black Ops 2. And the Woods character was not part of the Black Ops 3 universe. So we had to do two things. We had to establish a connection with the girl, I can't remember her name now. And then we had to reestablish him with the old audience, but we had to introduce him to the new audience.
Mm.
So it was a very complicated thing to write and perform. And so that may be the thing I'm most, if I had to put my hat on something, because I think there's that one take. There's always a quintessential take. We took 6 takes, 7 takes. That was the number 6 take. And I remember Rosas goes, "We got it." I go, no, I can do better. No. It's not, we got it. Let me. So we did another take, and it just didn't feel right. Oh, let me watch it. And he was right. It just encompassed everything we wanted from that scene. Oh yeah, there's Frank being funny but a badass. He's being articulate, but he's being tough. You know, he's being your best friend. He's doing all the things, and he's introducing himself in a way that, oh, if you don't know who he is, like the line, it's very big. "My name is Woods. You don't know who I am. Tough shit. You will. Soon enough." You know, that's like, that encompasses the entire. So we wrote that, and we kind of performed that, and so that would be, if I had to pick one, it'd be that one.
Okay. That was an awesome answer. James, so is there anything else you'd like to add? Where can people follow you online and stay up to date with what's going on in your life?
Sure. You come over to Instagram, jamesc.burns on Instagram. Put that in the crawl. Of course, Sarge's Corner, come by anytime. We may be doing more content. Actually, you know, edited content. I do Christmas songs, and we saw those in that spoof. I do spoofs. I write spoof music. I have a song called "Hey Mason," and then we have "So This Is Krampus," Christmas song. We have if you go on, you see I have 4 or 5 we have 3 Christmas songs and we have parody music. It's funny. I have videos with them. They're really funny.
Sure.
Twitter, James C. Burns at Twitter, Sergeant Frank was at Twitter. And that's it. You know, I'm not really active on social media that much. I think there's the Discord. There's a Sergeant's Corner Discord. I haven't been there in months. I know it's up and running. I have moderators do that, but I really don't. There's no time. You know, there's no time.
Well, thank you again so much for your time today, James. It was an honor and a pleasure talking with you. And again, thank you so much. Check him out on Instagram, Twitter, Sergeant's Corner, everything.
You were delightful, man. I love it when you come prepared. You guys were prepared, and you had intelligent questions, and you were really good host. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That means a lot. Have a good night.
You guys. Peace and love. Bye-bye.